All right, so God's Design for Women in an Age of Gender Confusion by Sharon James. I first read this book back in 2021 as part of a book club series that my church was doing. And I really enjoyed reading this book back then because I used to read a lot about feminism some time ago, and this book, I'll get into that a bit later, talks quite a lot about feminism. But anyway, let me talk a bit about the book. So it's written by Sharon James, and the book was first published back in 2022. No, sorry, back in 2002. But this is the 2019 edition. I bought the 2019 edition, and it has a lot of new information in it compared to the 2002 one when it was first published. So the book, like the title, God's Design for Women in an Age of Gender Confusion, it talks a lot about, God's design for us as women, what God created us to do. But one thing I really like about the book is how it sets the scene to talk about God's design for women. So the book starts with Sharon talking about how Christianity is good news for women, and it breaks it down and talk about the ministry of Christ and how there were women walking with Christ during his ministry. And then she goes on to talk about the different waves of feminism, and it's a chapter in the book that I really enjoyed because she talks about first wave feminism right up onto the Me Too movement, and she explains how these different movements has occurred and the impact it has on women. And then she goes on to talk about God's design for women in different areas. So for example, in the home, in the workplace, in ministry, in different areas of life. And I really think this is a book that every woman should read, every Christian woman especially should read, because it gives you the opportunity to think about how God created us as women, his plans for us in these different areas of life, and how we can walk according to God's plans for our lives rather than allowing society to dictate for us. I feel like we're living in a time where women, being a woman, it's just that there's a lot on our shoulders. But this book is really helpful because it helps you to really hone in and think about how God designed us as women and how we can walk according to his design.